So I got another trade in here. It's somebody bought the big wheel mower from me. One of the new Murrays. This is a Boland's, or excuse me, it's a Husqvarna. It's like it's got a Boland's transplanted engine on it. Seems to be in decent shape for the age. It's an old aluminum deck Husqvarna. It's got a chunk missing from the deck here, but this is just a cheap mower as it is. I think it's a 20-inch cut. Blade's in decent shape, it looks like, for what it is. It's full of oil. The guy said that it just quit on his son while he was trying to cut grass with it, so probably just carb clean or something like that. The gas tank's cracked. Oh, it's cracked really bad. Well, I didn't see that, so I've put a gas tank on it, but I've got a couple of those, so that's no big deal either. Leads me to think that this mower might, well, this gas tank's pretty brittle, so might lead me to think that the mower might have been vibrating quite a bit, and the blade might not be good. We check the air filter. The air filter needs to be replaced on it. It's actually caked full of dirt. Wow. And I can smell old gas in it. And it's really old. So first order of business is, and the cable also is messed up. First order of business will be to throttle. Doesn't work either. See if I can get some spray and see if it'll at least crank up for us. I think it will. If so, I'll take off the carburetor and take off the gas tank and see what we might have. So let me adjust it here and we'll see if it runs, or we'll crank at least. So it's really easy to pull, actually, and it sounds good. So just a carb issue and a gas tank, and it doesn't feel like it's vibrating too bad. Hate this missing the chunk out of the deck, but apart from that, it seems like it's in good shape. The deck is, again, it's probably just going to be like a $50 mower for somebody. Nothing special by any means, but be kind of fun to get this one fixed. I'm going to take the carburetor off, which is the 3 5/16 inch bolts here. On the other side, you've got 2 3/8 inch bolts that'll hold it in, and we'll see what we have. Forgot to film what the carburetor looked like before, but there was really not much crud in it. That's mostly from just outside with the wind blowing and pollen and whatnot going down into that bowl. So I just got to clean that out the bottom there. The had a lot of water in it because the fuel tank was obviously leaking with the crack in it. So the needle was actually stuck up in there, and I was able to get it unstuck and just trying to clean out a bunch of that calcium buildup that was in the carburetor there. I'll have to scrape some more of it off, but I was able to get all that and clean the jets out. So I'm going to put it back together and see if we can get it to run here. I think we'll have decent luck with it. Hopefully it's not in too bad of shape to not get it back going again. This one just needs some fresh gas and just kind of run and flush all this out. So, because getting calcium out's always a hard thing to do, as long as everything else is in good shape with the carburetor. So let me source a gas tank and put this carburetor back on and see if we can get it to fire for us. So a little story about this. I actually took the carburetor that was on this and put it onto a John Deere push mower that I've done a previous video on, just to get that one fixed and ready to go for the folks that are kind of come by it. And so I actually put a carburetor off of my weed whacker on there, big weed whacker, to see if I can at least get this thing to run. If so, I might just leave it on here, just trying to get this thing fixed for cheap, and instead of having to pay, you know, $10 or whatever to get a carburetor for it. Since the mower ain't worth much anyways, as long as it runs good, then that's the goal I'm looking towards. So let me spray some starter fluid in it just to give it a kick to start, and I'll see if it'll stay running for us. Got some smoke to burn off, but it is running. Let's take a decent run for a little while. I'll see what happens. Starting to burn off, which is good. So I'll let it run for a little bit and we'll come back and revisit it. So I got the new carburetor for this mower. I'm gonna replace it. Pretty easy with your 3 5/16 inch bolts right there. You have 2 3/8 inch bolts that hold on the carburetor. You just need to disconnect your fuel line and disconnect your linkage here. It should come right off for you. And this one right here is obviously a commercial grade mower. Came from a local Ace Hardware, it looks like. So kind of a neat history. It stayed local, so to speak. So I'll swap out the carburetors and we'll give this thing a test, see how it runs. It's getting dark, but I got the mower together and it should be ready to go. I'm going to wait till tomorrow morning and make sure that the primer bulb is priming the way that it's supposed to. It's having a little bit of trouble getting it to prime, but I was able to kind of bend the backing plate on the between the carburetor because it was a little bit warped, so I was able to bend that back a little bit, and it seems to be priming okay now. And like I said, I'll check it in the morning before I list it, but again, just a decent little $50 mower for somebody. Got it primed already, and we'll crank it and see how it runs. bit. Maybe it'll clear out as long as it runs a little bit. But it's got the new carburetor on it. Seems to be starting good. It's skipping a little bit while it's running, but I'll let it run for about 15 minutes or so. This would be a good $50 mower for somebody. I've had a lot of these this year, so somebody will come get it. Should be a good mower for them. So, as you can hear, it's kind of cleared out a little bit now. Let it run for a little while longer. I'll end the video here though. Thank y'all again for watching for another mower, and if I get any more trade-ins, I'll keep y'all updated with that. In the meantime, thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.